driving up to hike Logging Creek. We're gonna spend the night at Grace Lake, and on the way up, just wanted to show you the North Fork of the Flathead. It is brown and huge. It's starting to overflow the banks and everything. We're actually having to drive up around Pole Bridge because the road's closed to the inside North Fork road's closed between Fish Creek and Logging Lake Trailhead. So we're driving up through Pole Bridge and we'll be there in a little bit. All right, hanging out here with Steve and Nam. Hi. Howdy. We got a little bit of Lincoln Lake goodness over there. Or Logging Lake, right there. And here's the old trailhead. It's nice and soggy for a walk. All right. Seeing a western tanager and a few other birds, so hopefully we'll get a bunch on camera. So just chugging along here, it's really cool, like opening up to this valley that goes where the creek flows down. Logging Creek just gathering more momentum, and loads of flowers. Just seeing like the trilliums have turned from white to pink, and yeah, just lots of flowers, lots of little birds flitting around. Try and get some of those. But yeah, super pretty. Get a little stonefly here. Got a little bear DNA study going on here.
Photographing trees. They're just like coming together right there.
I have no idea what this is right now, but it's a teeming mass of something weird. Things are definitely muddy out here. We spend about at least 40% of our time slogging through mud, but we just went to the patrol cabin at the foot of Logging Lake so we could check out. We talked to the guys that are crewing there and doing some trail maintenance, and they let us know that the pond that's really deep that goes across the trail is now, they've got it marked around it, so that'll be nice to, instead of having to go through chest deep water to go ahead and knock it off, we can just walk around it. Little view from the Logging Lake campground. Well, getting to be a little bit of a long day. We're here at Adair campground. Stephen is doing calisthenics. Billy, well, let me focus here. Billy's just hanging out on top of my pack. He's been kind of laying low most of his trip, and then Steve is doing the tree pose, I guess, right now. There's a sweet little creek that crosses right over here. Take a look at this guy. And yeah, then there's a pretty nice campground area that overlooks Logging Lake, and we got a lot more mud, about another 3 miles left, and we'll be at Grace Lake, which we're ready for. One thing to note is our footwear today. I am currently rocking Keens, and Stephen is rocking Chacos. The benefits of some of these things are the Keens are less abrasive, so I don't have the blisters and rubbings that Stephen has, but when I get rocks, I keep rocks, so it's really hard to get stuff out. Both of us get crap in our shoes and stuff, so anyways, but when we're walking through as much mud and creeks as we are, we just decided to rock these, and that's worked out well for us. So here we have Stephen, who's breaking around that red flagging that was pointed out to us by the trail crew. The reason is because if we look down over here, there's this big old pond. It's kind of hard to see, I think, here. But anyways, there's this, apparently this thing is chest deep, and it goes for a little ways. But actually we might be able to just go around it, I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, there's the trail that starts out. So we've got about 50 feet of chest deep water here or something. So we're gonna go ahead and go around it, following the red flagging. But we made it, and I'm boiling some water there. You can see that in the background, potentially. And we're gonna go take a look at how we're gonna set up camp tonight. A little bit different than I normally do it. We've got this kind of more of an awning type of a thing, and then we are going to put our bivvies and then our sleeping bags inside the bivvies. So I might show that in the morning, but we're going to go walk over to our campsite where Steven's setting everything up here. So take a look at it. It's our view overlooking the lake. I'm watching where I'm walking so I don't die. So here's Steven right here, making this fancy guy. Look at that. There's no floor to it. You can see underneath it. And it's got a trekking pole. Is that what it has underneath it?
Actually, I brought the pole, but you can use.
Okay. So there's just a pole in there. And then we just got it all rock and rolled down with some rocks. Get it? It's a good joke. And then, oh, there's the lake. So, and there's our view. So pretty all right, if you ask me. So the sun's playing peekaboo with us today, which is kind of nice. I don't think we'll get much rain. Do you think we'll get much rain?
Probably not.
I don't think we'll get much rain. Anyways, yeah, Grace Lake, real pretty lake. You can't really get to the lake very well, which is kind of annoying. But at the head of it, there's a really cool waterfall. A loon that was hanging out, bunch of birds. Not many mosquitoes this time, which was nice, but I think we'll have a lot. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start walking, and you'll see some of the moss-covered trees. Saw a lot of sign, but haven't seen any animals, so I don't know, good and bad. Making the transition over here at the head of Logging Lake. There's a patrol cabin, and then there's a little trail that kind of goes off to this side, and so we're walking along that. They had a larch ball at the cabin, which happens at the end of in the fall when all the larch needles fall into lakes and stuff, and then they kind of roll around, and they end up getting oh, where's this trail here? I guess maybe along here. Anyways, so they had a larch ball, and so what happens is all the needles fall onto the lake, and then after they kind of roll around in the lake and create these really cool little like balls in the forest. So anyways, they had one of those. That was pretty sweet. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Just walking along the head. We'll see if we see anything else. Just got back to the patrol cabin from that little spur that goes right over along the north end or the head of Logging Lake. The trail is terrible. I mean, it's not well maintained at all, but it's really cool. It has some really cool views. I got to see a garter snake, and it looks like, you know, some sort of sparrow, and a junco kind of clean itself off and stuff. So it's really really fruitful and really cool. Like I said, get ready to climb over stuff and kind of duck, because it's a real trail. So we just showed up at the place where there was that big pond and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't even recognize it because this thing drained ridiculous amounts last night. So here we go. So we hiked from right here, and so right here is where the water, you can kind of see where the water was, and this was all covered in water yesterday, and so now we're like able to walk right through it. I mean, now it's only like 6 inches deep or something like that. I mean, all of this stuff was underwater all over in here. All this business. And you might not think that that's that very big of a deal, but honestly, like, it's probably last night from today, it probably has drained like 3 or 4 feet of water. About 3 feet of water, you think?
Yeah, at least. I mean, the water is, yeah.
I bet you, so it drained about 3 feet of water, so so yeah, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, let me focus this bad boy. Woot. Yep. So anyway, so now here I am walking through this stuff right here, and it's only, you know, up to my calves maybe. There's a bunch of dead worms in here. For all you people that get creeped out easily in water like this. I'm really glad this is in Alabama or something like that, where, you know, there's like water moccasins, or I don't know if they have water moccasins in Alabama, but we don't have really creepy stuff other than some leeches, but there's no leeches in that little body. Anyways, I picked up that that 40 feet of trail that I didn't have before. Woohoo! Well, I'm just passing Logging Lake Campground, The story of coming out, now that there hasn't been any rain today, has been mud and mosquitoes. I mean, this is pretty much, I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, it's just all very muddy trail. The one bright spot has been, we saw a western tanager, and I finally got him on video, which I tried to do the first day, but missed him. So anyways, so that's been really cool, but we have about 5 miles left, and so it's about 2 hours of hiking, and you know, just this kind of stuff. Really getting old. Mosquito madness. Is setting in. So I'm just hanging out at the Logging Creek Ranger Station, which is just a little bit, a few hundred yards away from the trailhead. My review of Logging Lake, I would say I'm a little bit jaded right now because I'm really sore and sick of the mud and the mosquitoes and all that kind of stuff. It was really a cool hike. I really liked the beginning of it, where it's really open to the burns. You kind of start to go through tunnels of trees, and that's where we started getting the mud and obviously loads of mosquitoes and stuff. The lakes were cool, but you only just get little tiny windows into the lakes, and I don't know if that really gets any better later on in the year. People comment below if that changes. I think this hike is better later on in the year. My problem with it is I think later on in the year I'd rather do other stuff. So yeah, you know, do it if you haven't done it, but I wouldn't go out of your way to. So that's probably bad to say for the Park Service or whatever, but it is what it is. It's definitely early season though, so take that into account. As you can see by looking around this campground and stuff, it opens July 1st, but that's if they get everything cleared up from the creek that's going through it. So yeah, so check out the American Dipper, playing by the water, and I'm out.
Does it have like a necklace on? Like a... I think it's someone's pet bunny.
I don't think so. That's a hare, snowshoe hare. Little black bear on the road. Camas Road as we're heading back. Snowshoe hare, little black bear. You know, you can see a lot from your car. There's another bear here. Right off Camas Road.